Even after recording these videos for all these times, I still do a test recording. I still do a little bit of a test recording just before I start actually recording the video, because every time there's always a potential for an issue. And this time, yeah, I totally freaking black hole always like uninstalls itself for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's like a virus that my MacBook just like deletes out of out of the drive, because I always have to reinstall it. And yeah, this video almost had no game audio. That would have been bad. Anyway, well, hello and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Last time we were continuing Act 5 of Chapter 4 of the Archon Quest, in which a trap has been laid. A trap has been laid by a bunch of our buddies. You know, Cloran, Neverlet, Navia, the House of Hearth kids. We all set a trap for Frina, because we need to get some info out of her. And yeah, we basically just spent a lot of time chilling last episode. Just wait, I'm guessing to wait until the trap triggers, so that we get Frina in. We also had a conversation with a Hexen Zirkle, and Mona, and Charlotte. Yeah, it was weird. But anyways, today, there was like a trial. Charlotte was talking about a trial, and then Farina was there, and then there was a lot of people kind of uprising against Farina, and she has gone to hid in Poisson, which is where we were guessing where she hid, and that's the next part of the Archon Quest, right? Next thing to do, indeed, and yeah. We are kind of at that point where I was looking for the word last time, or I don't know if it was last time or a few episodes ago, but we're at the climax. The word I was looking for was climax. I think I said apex, but no, it's climax. We're at the climax of this Archon Quest, I believe, because I think it was, yeah, Chapter 5 of Sumeru was the climax, and then Chapter 5 of Inazuma, or it was Act 3, I guess. It was Act 3 of Inazuma was the climax, and yeah, stuff's gonna go down, and we know that, we kind of know, kind of spoilers, but kind of not spoilers. There is a Frina story quest that unlocks after you beat this Act 5, and so it's safe to assume that, you know, something is solved. Like when it came to Raiden Shogun story quest, well, obviously we kind of got through to A, right, with the help of like Yai Miko. We got through to A. And so we were able to meet up with her for the story quest. Same thing with Sumeru. We literally broke, what's her name? Nahida out of prison. And so after that, we were given the story quest. Because actually, now we can finally, you know, have an audience with her. I never did the story quest. But, yeah. Farina has been pretty hard to get a hold of thus far. And so because we have access to her story quest after this Archon quest, it's safe to assume that the situation with her at least gets found out. We kind of can hang out with her, apparently, right? But anyways, yeah, we're at the climax. Stuff's gonna go down. We know stuff's gonna go down. Will it go down this episode, this video, or next video? I'm not sure. Anyways, I accidentally did teleport to Poisson, and then there was like some things that Paimon said, so we might not get that now that I've accidentally triggered it. Let's see if we get it.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
Alright, there was some lag, but indeed, it does seem like we were able to get that again, which is good. But indeed, we know that. We don't know, but we have a feeling that Farina's down here hiding. So. Because people died here, there was a disaster and people died here, and so we're like, okay, Farina might feel guilty about that, so she came here to like hide. Okay. Well, we go down here. Is that her? Or that's straight up her? There we go. Turn that auto on. New day of recording.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Stay quiet for now.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Furina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
We haven't seen Furina like this, ever. Very, very new to us. A Furina?
Who's that?
Don't worry, Furina, it's just us.
Ahem. So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects, come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Furina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were, disturbing my enjoyment of the arts? They even dare to tout their Archon! I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Maréchaussée Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
You're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you? We're just gonna say it. We're just gonna say I respect it.
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Furina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Furina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her. This should be the place, right? Hey, Furina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What? What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Paimon's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
Isn't it strange that she just believes us? Aren't we travelers? So wouldn't we want to, I don't know, expose her? Aren't we a big threat? And she's just, yeah, here, she chill with us all of a sudden. Okay. You might want to lower your voice to say hidden. This place is not what I call soundproof.
You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
Yeah, just another disaster. Yeah, all good, I suspect.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Neuvillette made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already...
As Farina finally reached her limits, now she's talking about her actual feelings. She's starting to look far less stiff. You begin to talk amongst yourself as Farina slowly calms down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Teyvet, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
The will of the heavenly principles or the will of Alakina. Again, my hypothesis is still there, up in the air. I feel like someone was messing with her. I feel like someone was messing. I knew Farina was working on it. But yeah, of course, how can you predict divine, the heavenly principles? Sure, you can kind of predict that, but how can you predict more interference? Like the Fatui up to no good. Watch the Fatui have been good guys this entire time, and I'm just blaming them because I just have prejudice against Fatui people. That's possible. It's possible. But they cannot be trusted until proven completely innocent. Or shouldn't it be innocent until proven guilty? Then I just swapped it around because I'm a bad person apparently. You still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But that would also mean that all hope would disappear.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. Farina, you might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Yeah. Also, I do agree. It's not over until it's over, like Farina said. So we'll have to see. But anyways, yeah, you're not shoulder this burden alone. Oh my gosh. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burdens with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Oh, I'm still talking apparently. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes, I've heard that you came to Teyvet from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Teyvet is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't trust you. If that's the case...
There's no time left, please, Farina. Just better. Also, Paimon. Paimon's not. But okay. Yeah, just tell both of us. It's fine. Even though Paimon isn't, that's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice! One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine! The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Woohoo!
Oh, now we're making history!
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Bruh, it's me? Alright, we have time to talk here, so I will talk a little bit. First off, I'm pretty sure we just got trolled, like massively trolled. Wasn't Farina about to give us some of that juicy info? And then we just got teleported here by Linny's magic. Then I'm pretty sure we just got hecka trolled right there. But also, how sick would it have been if Farina just fought Cloran? Oh, by the way, here's Lynette. What if she just fought Cloran and just beat the crap out of Cloran? And then was like, okay, actually, just kidding. I'll still do trial because it'll be fun. Wouldn't that be more like showmanship? If she just like dunked on Cloran, that would have been hilarious. Maybe she can't. Maybe like lore-wise she actually has no chance. But like, how cool would it have been if she just dunked? Oh, but then I mean that would require more cutscene animations and stuff, which would take out more budget. So it would have been cool. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Teyvet, my accuser and fated opponent.
We were so close to getting her to tell us the truth, and it still turned out like this in the end. Well, I mean, it is our fault, so we got trolled. We trolled ourselves. It's okay though, as long as we can defeat her in court. We still something.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean, the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
We should leave you back there. I mean, I think we deceived her a lot, but yeah, yeah, that's one instance of deceiving.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. So that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, you've guessed wrong, lady.
Oh?
My mission was to give you one last chance. I mean, we didn't we? And we were this close. But then we got trolled. We got trolled. I say we got trolled. We trolled ourselves. We trolled ourselves. We hope that you share your secret with us before the Magbot arrive onto the stage.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Yeah, there's one thing we can do now is to judge. The only thing we can do now is to judge the Hydro Archon. Still, I can't help but feel a little bothered by the conversation earlier. What did Farina want to say to me right before we got off the stage?
Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine! So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument!
A super practical gift. I never would have thought of using it this way.
Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, alright?
Oh, fart me! Dang, ain't no way I'm gonna read all this. It becomes Lenny's attorney. Ain't no way. I am reading it, but I just hate myself that I have to read it. America has unfolded in the midst of Linny and Lynette's first report on the Grand Opera House. Though they were cleared of the accusation leveled against them, their identities as agents of the House of Hearth were revealed. Also, isn't it important that they were trying to get into the back of the house or back of the thing to look for information? I guess we can ignore that part. It is a good summary though. I mean, I already summarized a lot, but alright.
I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence.
The truth behind the serious disappearance of a young women case. It turns out that the Fontainians can be dissolved by water from the primordial sea. Over the years, Vache kidnapped and dissolved many young girls for his experiment to try and find a way to bring his wife back, who had been dissolved.
This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out.
Yeah, remember Child? Remember Child? The one that literally no one seems to care about but us? At this point, honestly, I don't even think we care about him anymore. Well, I guess Niblet kind of cares about Child because... Not care about Child, but care about the wrong sentence. Specifically. But anyways, Child's conviction, though Niblet believed Child to be innocent, that Orchard jumped him as guilty in the end, and even Farina didn't know why. Or does she know why and she's hiding it, or...
A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something.
The meeting with the Knave. During the diplomatic meeting with the Knave, she revealed that she had previously probed Farina on her own, yet assaulted, and believes it is possible that Farina and believed that it is possible that not only is Farina not really the Archon, but that she is actually afflicted with some sort of curse. Oh, I forgot about the curse part.
The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think.
The intrusion of the primordial sea in the fortress of Meripede, the entrance to the Primordial Sea is sealed beneath the Forbidden Zone in the Fortress of Meripede. And recently, wait. Is it information in the newspaper and is it going public? Isn't that supposed to be a secret? Isn't that only a secret that only like Worcestershire and those two researchers knew about? Wait a minute. It's only temporarily pushed back by Nivelet's power.
According to Monsieur Neuvillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the Primordial Sea at that time.
Whale in a dream. You saw Child floating in the sea in a dream, as well as an indescribably massive whale. There's a whale lord.
I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
Charlotte and Navia's are good friends. I mean, yeah, I guess Navia's pretty easy to talk to. Charlotte's a bit of an interesting one too, so I guess. Navia falling into the seawater. While exploring the ruin near Poisson, it began to collapse and Navia fell in the water containing primordial seawater. Only the protection of the dead members of the Spirit de Rizula prevented her from dissolving.
The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Tea time with N. N communicated with you by connecting your consciousness. She believes that she believes the prophecy will certainly happen, but that you needn't give up all hope. Indeed. Wow, that is the summary of all summaries. It's a good refresher if you've forgotten the
prosecution
details.
And the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Neuvillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
That's true, but my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who has never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
Huh. An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
Indeed. Wait. I'm gonna have to try to support that she's not an Archon, even though I personally, it's me talking, actually do believe that she's the Archon. Wait a minute. I am not gonna believe in anything Alakino says until she's completely innocent. But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. I suck. I mean, you've watched the last previous Archon Quest I've done, hopefully. I suck at this, so I mean, let's do it though. The people only see you as their Archon because that's their long-held belief.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
I gotta think carefully. What do you know about what do you know to be special about Furina exactly? Isn't she just like an Oceanid? Oceanid? Yeah, she's an Oceanid. What? I mean, wouldn't it make sense that the Archon is an Oceanid? Because Morax is an Adepti, but he's also an Archon. You know? You know what I'm saying? you know what I mean? So okay, I think Furina, or not Furina, Alakino, the best thing I have to say in this. I'm gonna select this one. Let's try it out. Also, I'm talking here.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, sometimes we get a line in. Like, we got a few lines in there, the main traveler, which is cool. As such, a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
Look, Furina, I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but the game is telling me to do it. I don't trust the knave at all. Alright, I don't trust her at all, alright? Alright? However, it must be done for... The game makes me do it. It doesn't matter who gave us the information. What matters is the veracity of the claim.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Neverlet?
So, Furina, instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human? Isn't that kind of disrespectful? Again, I ain't believing it. I ain't believing it. It's all part of Alakino's plan to take the Gnosis for the Star Pizza. I'm telling you.
Lady Furina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemidium that is used in every aspect of life.
Wait, that one trial proved the opposite. Furina actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. Ooh, I know which one. It's Child. Wait, truth behind Surge of the Kinston is Child. Conviction, right? Oratrice. John, I'm guilty even though Furina didn't know why. We can still say tea time with N. Tea time with N seems like a weird one. We probably do child conviction. I think that's the best one.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no need to provide an explanation.
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon? Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
By the way, where's Paimon's mustache? Sure, we can put the Oratrice aside for now, but then, Farina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your power as an Archon? Yeah, what do Archons do, by the way? I guess we had a few proof of, what's it? Venti controlling winds, is that? Controlling winds? Is that part of his arc? Oh, I actually remembered watching this because I just rewatched it to post out in the video. He can fix the lyre, the holy lyre of Himmel or whatever. Oh, yep, Venti definitely do be Archon-y. Morax, I think the best example of seeing Morax in action, it has to be when we were escaping the chasm, right? Don't want to spoil it too much if you haven't seen that. But when we left the chasm, he did a few things. He, kind of mild spoilers there. The Raiden Shogun, it's hard. Maybe going into the Ethereum plane, maybe being in the Ethereum plane to begin with is pretty Archon-like, I suppose. That's pretty cool. I guess with Nahida, oh, her power to literally go into people's dreams. Oh yeah, that's a banger. That's a banger Archon ability right there. All right, so actually, yeah, every Archon has definitely showed their powers. Definitely, and I guess in Venti's story quest too. The end of his story quest, he showed his powers as well. So yeah, we've had a lot of Archons show their powers. And yeah, I guess Farina hasn't showed any of her powers yet. But again, still early days. Yeah, I haven't really hanged out with her too much anyway. So like, what opportunities has she even had to show her Archon powers? If she is an Archon, again, I'm still under the impression that we're kind of falsely accusing her. But again, yeah.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
A brief demonstration of your power over Hydro should be quite harmless. Surely an Archon can at least match the capabilities of a human with a vision.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium! Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if
I was a liar. I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me? Please? You've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is? If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
If we cannot prove that she isn't the Archon, we can try to prove that she is just human, or if she's only human. Okay, now you give me a lot of time to read, game. Okay, I see how it is. If she is only human. Okay, now we can't, tea time with N. If she is only human, then, not sure. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm kind of losing a bit of hope. The Farina. What? Is she? No, surely she is still the high. She's still the. Also, is it gonna be like, what's it? Is one of the interlude Archon? Is it one of the? Is one of the? Oh, is it Wander? Yeah, it's the Wanderer. It's the Scaramouche Wander Archon Quest. Is it gonna be like that? You guys remember what happened toward the end, where like something happened to the Wanderer, or I guess something happened to Farina? Not. Yeah, something happened to Scaramouche. He got something. I'm not gonna say the exact words, but because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. But I'm assuming you. Okay, well, I'm just saying. He got his vision, right? Scaramouche got his little vision, his little animal vision, and he kicked butt or something. Remember that? And I think he fought against like Scaramouche. The Wanderer fought against Scaramouche with the animal vision, right? Is that what's gonna happen here? Is Farina just gonna get dropped a Hydro vision right now? Okay, anyways, let's continue with the story. If she's human, how can I prove that she's human? I don't know which can prove that or support that she's human. I don't know. What does this have anything to do with humans? What does this have anything to do? Maybe? I don't know. I'm 2 for 2, so let's see what happens if I select the wrong one. Because I'm assuming I'm going to select the wrong one. Yeah, I don't know how this has anything to do with Fatui. Maybe cereal. Yeah, 3 of these have something to do with primordial seawater. So I'm guessing I'm leaning towards primordial seawater. It's like a freaking multiple choice exam right now. Like, okay, which one is it out of these 3 choices? Let's eliminate which ones are unreasonable. So yeah, primordial seawater, primordial seawater, primordial seawater. Navia and Vashake are kind of the similar one, and so I'm gonna say this one. Nivelet's power is pretty fully sick, so maybe he's the Archon. Again, that's bad because we know that he isn't, so we'll be lying if we say that he's the Archon. But this is the best thing I got, I think.
That doesn't sound right. Paimon doesn't think this clue can be used as compelling evidence.
Interesting, so I was 2 for 2. Okay, so it's not that one. Let's go with Vache.
It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago. taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of the seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Farina? Okay, their argument is bad, but I kind of need to get the video going, and so yeah, I'll try to keep going here.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That could only mean...
What's going on? Is she really planning to... That's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Hey!
The audio cut off as Paimon was screaming. Gosh darn lag! She actually...
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Siegewin? If you're present, Miss Siegewin, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewin?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewin.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh wait, what did she just say? I didn't get dissolved! Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... You...
What was really going on here? Farina can't have not known the consequences of such a... Okay? Is that unlike him to unusually act, unless it's actually more important for her to keep up with her fault than to save her own life. But has she given up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone! Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks! What happened just now didn't prove a single thing! think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected
Yes,
by
that's the
primordial
argument I wanted to
seawater?
say. That's a good argument.
Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water? Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
It's almost as though she actually is the Archon, and we've been fooled by Arlecchino this entire time. But yeah, that's one of the arguments I want to say. If Farina did dissolve in water, that doesn't prove that she's not the Archon, right? Because we know that the primordial seawater, it ruins Fontainians. Okay? Can't the Hydro Archon just be Fontainian? It doesn't like kill humans. Could like destroy other creatures, right? Just if it's Fontainian, then it would dissolve the person. And so if Farina would have dissolved, or I mean she did get symptoms, that doesn't exactly mean that she's human, right? It just means that she's Fontainian, if anything. It doesn't, again, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? She can still be an Archon, but she can still be a god. Gods can have a weakness, right? But, I don't know, it's just weird. Honestly, it would have been interesting if she was a god and she did get dissolved. But then, she can, like, undissolve herself. I guess resolve? Like, she can, instead of dissolving, what's the opposite of dissolving? Making a settlement of herself? What's the word? I'm not sure what the word. Anyways, I thought that argument was pretty poor in my opinion, right? It just proves that she's Fontainian, in my opinion, but it doesn't really support the idea that she's not human. Because we don't know, like she said, we don't know if Archons might have the same effect. Or I should say a Fontainian Archon has the same effect. But anyways, the Oratrice seems to have spit out the wrong answer, I'm guessing. So, honestly, this would be a good place to stop it, but I feel like I should keep going until there's a good stopping point. So I'm going to keep going until there's a good stopping point. Because I don't want to end it here. It can't be. Did the Oratrice just declare Farina to be innocent?
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? Am always thought that it was just a myth.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Vache wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
What's more strange is instead of Farina, the Oratrice rendered the judgment on the Hydro Archon. Indeed, there's a few ways of interpreting this. One, Farina is the Hydro Archon and now she must get her head chopped off. Why is this? Is this a reference to French history? Or the real Hydro Archon is sentenced to death. We don't know who the real Hydro Archon is. If it isn't Farina, then that person is sentenced to death. So, alright, there's two ways of interpreting this, which is, I think, what the Traveler is referring to here. What's more strange is instead of Farina, the Oratrice rendered the judgment on the Hydro Archon.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
With some help from the other two, Fremine begins a stone slate on stage.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
No. I won't let her hurt you, Fremine. You've done good. Father will not... I won't let her hurt you. Okay, this video is over an hour long at this point. Should I just make it a super long video, or should I try to cut it? Here's what I'll do. I'll try to make the recording long, but if I need to, I'll cut it into two separate parts if I feel like that's necessary. But we'll keep going here. It's over an hour long at this point. Anyways, Fremine, goated individual here. Let's goat. All right. Nothing. No, you've done nothing bad. You're all good. Don't worry. The mystery still hasn't been resolved yet. It's not too late for you to shine.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Couldn't I just jump down? I have wing gliders.
So what do you see? What is it?
This looks like a ... The previous Hydro Archon releasing her divine power, turning the Oceanids into human beings. That's what you got from it? Okay, that's okay.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro Archon. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
An association between the contents of the slates and events in real life.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Check, select the, oh gosh, darn it. Find the related contents, then verify that content, water, rise, and finish. The truth behind prophecy shall be revealed. Alright.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans.
Okay.
Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them.
Okay, that makes sense.
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing?
Okay.
The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
A child, maybe?
Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on.
Oh, yeah, I was saying that scene when she, I don't want to say it because that would have been interrupting the cutscene, but when she sat on the throne crying, right? I'm like, yeah, doesn't that exactly look like the prophecy when she was basically, you know, that happened?
We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
Yeah. The verdict that just happened is this. So, I guess the prophecy kind of did happen. It just wasn't everyone dying. We just misinterpreted the prophecy. But I think I said I'll keep this video going. I don't want to keep this video going just in case like the video file gets too long and stuff like that. So I'm going to actually end this video here. So we're going to end this video here because we have a good time to end this video here. And then I'll continue it next time where we'll verify the truth. Because I think the prophecy has happened. Right? I think the prophecy let me see if I can go through it real quick. Yeah, this we know just happened. This is... yeah, primordial seawater, doing stuff. Celestia. This is just before. This is stuff that happened before. We can't really. Maybe there's more to it. I think this is when people started to question everything that was going on, and then this is what just happened. Okay, actually, I might not be good at interpreting this, so it'll make sense in the next video when I'll actually do this. All right. So, and that was a long one, so thanks for bearing with me. Thank you so much for watching. You're beautiful the way you are. And I'll catch you in another video. The next one's going to be a banger, guys. I promise you. Come back for the next one. It's going to be a banger. See you then.